Time for our weekly How to Go Gluten-Free workshop. Hope everybody's having a great day. And welcome, everybody. My name is Jose. I live on the south side of Chicago. I've been gluten-free for over a decade, and I show you how to go gluten-free. If you want to watch the replay of this live, you can watch it on our Facebook and IG. How's everybody doing out there? I'm in the living room today, so it's different lighting. So I don't know how the lighting is going to be, but here we are. So welcome, everybody. We're going to be doing gluten-free training today. How's everybody doing out there? What up? What up, Chica? How are you? What up, D? Claudia, thanks for the joining. Happy Friday. Let's see. Hello, buenos dias, amigo. Hey, Claudia, how are you? Buenos dias. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. We're streaming on our TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram today, guys. So every freaking Friday, I do how to go gluten-free training. So welcome, everybody. How are y'all doing today? So I guess we'll just start off. And you guys, if you want to watch this replay, I repost it on my Instagram and Facebook. Hope you guys are going to have a beautiful Friday and a great weekend. Welcome, everybody. Let's get started. Let's get started. What up, Alyssa? Good morning. So let's talk. You know what? I need some water. Oh, here it is. I got water. Thank God. I've learned so much for you, and I'm grateful for you, brother. Claudia, that's what I'm here for. Just to share what I've learned. You know, Sylvia, thanks for sharing the live. It's just, I changed my whole life by gluten free. Now, guys, for those of you new here, gluten, it's called celiac disease. It affects they say about 2% of the global population is affected with this. About 2%. And then they say another 7% has an issue with the sensitivity to gluten. So let's get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Jose. I live on the south side. I've been gluten free for over a decade. So gluten is a protein, and it's found in cereals. Claudia, it's just a lot of Googling. And I've been gluten-free for over a decade. So guys, I've been gluten-free for over a decade, going on 14 years, and every day, so I had a lot of practice. So gluten is a protein. Which you're probably like, what's a fucking protein? A protein is a bunch of molecules. We're all made out of molecules. We're molecules, right? Now, these certain molecules are bonded together in a certain way called gluten. And they're basically two major proteins that make it up, glutenin and gliadin. So glutenin and gliadin kind of make up the gluten protein bond, and that's called gluten. Now this protein, it's found in cereal grains. And the cereal grains are known as a lot, really. But mostly in America, it's called barley, rye, oats, and wheat. And in America, oats are thrown in there because a lot of the oats, even gluten-free, even certified gluten-free, have a high probability of being contaminated or come in contact with wheat. So that's why if you're going gluten-free, I highly encourage you to no longer consume oats of any kind. It's very tricky, very, very tricky with the oats. It's kind of like the biggest secret nobody talks about. So that protein is in these cereal grains. Now, this protein, when certain people ingest a protein, it makes us sick. Like we get very sick. I'll list off the top 10 issues that are known in the celiac gluten-free world. Number 1, headaches, migraines, no particular order, brain fog, constipation, diarrhea, insomnia, joint pain, skin issues, gas, inflammation. So if you have like those things, like my knees used to hurt all the time, my hands used to feel arthritic when I was a kid, I always bloated. My whole life I was bloated. I was always sick. I used to have insomnia. And then with the insomnia, then I could sleep. I would be able to sleep for like 16, 18 hours a day. And it'd be times like I'd be hard to sleep, and then times I'd just be sleeping forever. It was just nuts. Like when I had to go to sleep, I couldn't sleep. But then during the day, I would just pass out for hours. So that was pretty crazy. Ab cramps. You got ab cramps? Yeah, it does a lot it does a lot. When you ingest gluten, it actually affects your small intestine. Well, it affects everything, but the small intestine get the villi. We'll talk about it. So when certain people ingest it, we get those issues. And that's why we choose no longer to eat gluten. Now, most of you guys that watch me or follow me, you guys eat bread or pasta, and you guys are fine. You're like, you're walking around all normal, all hunky dory, no issues. You don't get bloated. You don't get diarrhea. You don't get constipation. You don't get diarrhea or gas. None of that happens to you guys. You're just fine. But for some of us, we get bloat. I used to throw up all the time. Like I would throw up at least a few times a week. Like that was normal. My whole life I was just throwing up. Like I lived on Pepto-Bismol and Alka-Seltzer. Like it was crazy. And I was chronically ill my whole life. So that's why we choose to avoid these proteins that's in these cereal grains. Now, you're going to find gluten in a lot of stuff. Like there's something called kamut, tricolate, couscous, farro. These are some more exotic grains, some more blending of the grains. Like sometimes they'll breed the two grains and make other grains. So, but in America, the major four, think of eyebrow, barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Barley, rye, oats, and wheat. If you can avoid those, you should be good. And so those are the major ones. On top of that, guys, on top of this, I'm going to talk about this really quick. If you do have an issue with gluten, you may also have an issue with something called pseudograins. They're not even the grains that have gluten, the protein gluten. But you can still have an issue with these grains like millet or sorghum. Or you can also have an issue with brown. As a matter of fact, really quick, if you have an issue with gluten, you may have an issue with all grains. You out there. If you have an issue with gluten, you may have to eliminate all grains. And that's okay. Because you're going to cure yourself. And that's amazing. So, for me, the only grains that I currently consume on a regular basis are corn, because I'm Mexican, and rice. And it's jasmine and basmati from Asia and Thailand, from Thailand and India. I eliminate almost all grains. And as a matter of fact, there's a company that I follow, this company right here, called Siete. That means seven in Spanish, Siete. That means seven in Spanish. Their father, this company, the dad, had to go grain-free. He's Mexican. And he went grain-free and they started this company. So keep that in mind. You might have to go grain-free. Also, on your first 30 days, I would highly encourage you to not if you're going to go gluten-free, if you guys are embarking on a gluten-free journey, I highly encourage you to no oats of any kind. Nothing. Nothing. No oats. Nothing. If it has oats in it, put it down for the first 30 days. Brown rice, no brown rice. No brown rice. Actually, no. Try to have like the packages like that are made with gluten-free. A lot of them have brown rice in it. So keep that in mind when you're trying these gluten-free products. Brown rice is major. And if you have an issue with gluten, you may have an issue with the brown rice. Corn, you may have an issue with corn. Corn has something called zein, Z-E-I-N. So you may have an issue with corn. The oats. The oats, the reason I say keep away from it, a few reasons. Number one, it has a high probability of getting contact with wheat in America. A very high probability. There's something called purity protocol oats. Purity protocol means that the oats in no way, shape, or form have ever come in contact with wheat. From the time they planted in perfect ground with no wheat fields around it. They harvest it with wheat-free equipment and they process it in a wheat-free environment, gluten-free, and they package it. It's from the start to finish. That's called purity protocol. However, that's only tested to 5 parts per million or less. Keep that in mind. 5 parts per million or less. That means there might be a little bit, depending on your sensitivity. Like if you have celiac disease, you shouldn't consume zero oats, zero gluten, zero. A lot of times in America, they'll have packaging for you guys that have celiac disease. They're like, this is suitable for people with celiac. If you have an issue with celiac, zero. Don't believe that it's suitable for you. It's not. If there's gluten in there, you're going to get sick. And you know what? If you don't get sick, but you have celiac disease, guess what? You may be asymptomatic. That means you don't have outward symptoms. But I promise you, if you're diagnosed celiac, the inside of your body, you're messing it up. So don't do that. Zero. Don't fall for that. It's suitable for celiac. Don't. I've been gluten free for over a decade. It's not because there's gluten in there. We're gonna talk about that too. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Jose. I've been gluten free for over a decade. I'm going on 14 years. And I started Beyond Food Market to help people like me, my situation. I was chronically ill my whole life, throwing up, always tired, always tired. I would get fired from jobs. I couldn't wake up. I was like a zombie. My head was always aching. I was always warm. I always felt bloated. I was just in a brain fog. My whole life was a wreck. And I saw tons of doctors throughout my whole childhood as a child. And to no avail, nobody was able to help me. And I just ended up just trying to live with this chronic illness. And I was literally throw up all the time. Uh, a foul odor would come out of my mouth. Like I would have to scrape like a brown film off my tongue. On my tongue there was like a brown film. I had to scrape that off every day. My girlfriend would be like, "Bro, did you brush your teeth?" I'm like, "Yeah, I brushed my teeth." What are you talking about? Because like when you have like this gluten issue, remember when you have a gluten issue, well, not remember because I didn't even tell you, but when you consume gluten, when people consume gluten, it damages the villi, our villi, and what is that? That's in our small intestine, and that's super important. You know why? Because that job of the villi is to absorb nutrients for our human body's existence. So when the food passes through into our esophagus, into our stomach, into the small intestine, that's where it starts absorbing the nutrients and pushing it into the bloodstream. So if you have the issue with gluten, that's damaged. It's damaged, and it gets damaged. So that's why a lot of people have anemia and weight loss. Also, weight gain is part of the issue. Small intestine villi picture.
These pictures should match.
So this is kind of what it looks like. This is from Shutterstock. You know, so this is the small intestine. So I don't know if that's an accurate. That's from Shutterstock, but there's you can Google it. Just Google it. But what I'm saying is this villi, they get damaged, and then you're not able to absorb nutrients, and then you're always tired. And a whole slew of issues can come to your body when you're not getting nutrients. And as a matter of fact, I came across a video that I duetted on TikTok. It was a PhD doctor, and she said if you have an issue with thyroid, you have an issue with gluten. Oh, and she also said if you have an autoimmune disorder, you have an issue with gluten. As a matter of fact, I did a podcast 3 years ago with one of my followers because I wanted to start a podcast about food. I never really launched it, but shared her story how she developed Hashimoto's syndrome at age 22, and it was because the stress in her body just came upon her, and her doctor's like, "Hey man, a lot of people that have this Hashimoto have an issue with gluten." She went gluten free, cured herself, and she shares her story. So keep that in mind, guys. If you know someone with an autoimmune disorder, let them know to look more into gluten free. Look into it, do more research, and come back here and I'll show you how to go gluten free. So let's continue with this. Let's talk about, as a matter of fact, really quick, gluten is linked to over 300 issues of the human body. And I think a lot of it has to do because you're not getting nutrients. But anyway, that's another story. But it's linked up to 300 things from seizures to Alzheimer's. That's crazy, right? Again, do your own research. I'm just sharing shit that I came across over my decade of being gluten free. Like it blows my mind, like some of the shit that I find out. But really, you want to hear? Yeah, guys, you want to hear something else that blew my mind recently? The craziest thing I learned was like 3-4 months ago. Now, mind you, I've been gluten free for over a decade. So 4 fucking months ago, I was fucking reading something, and they're like Spain introduced wheat flour, aka gluten, into Mesoamerica. If you got brown skin, if you're Mexican or Indian or indigenous, listen to this. So they have brought wheat flour into Mesoamerica, and prior to this, our ancestors never ate it, and we had all these pyramids, apparently all these great civilizations there, and all without wheat. Now come to find out, now there's like a huge epidemic of type 2 diabetes, and people are attributing that to the consumption of wheat. Do your own research, guys. I'm only here to share with you what I've learned. I I was talking to a community leader in Chicago, in the Mexican community. He was telling me that type 2 diabetes is a leading cause of death above heart disease. And I was like, what? I never researched that, but it might be true. But anyway, it was interesting. So keep that in mind. If you know anybody who's indigenous or Mexican and they have foul odor coming out of their mouth or bumps on the back of their arm, or they're always like in a brain fog or tired or always yawning, always burping, let them know they might have an issue with gluten. Let them know. Because I really believe it affects Mexicans or Latinos or indigenous more. I really do. And you know what? Not just Mexican, brown skin. I mean, you could be Filipino, you could be Asian, Chinese. That's my belief. That's my belief. Because they were saying that Europeans are able to digest it, process it more. So that's what I'm saying. If you have an issue with gluten, if you eat bread, like if you eat bread and you start yawning and you start getting tired, you're the one I'm looking for. You're the one I'm looking for. Because guess what, guys? When we stop eating gluten, we stop being tired. But most of you guys that watch me, you guys eat bread with no issue. So keep eating bread. I'm just saying, I do this for the people, like the small percent. Again, 2% of the global population has an issue with gluten, and another 7% with the sensitivity. So the people I'm trying to reach are pretty small. So if you know anybody like that, come on, join the team. You go gluten-free, stop being tired. Dude, this is how I used to wake up. This is how I used to wake up. I used to be like this. I'd be like, after hitting the snooze button like 10 times, and I'd be like literally, like a zombie. Like I'd be making noise. Give me like, like literally sleeping while I'm walking, trying to get to the shower. They're like, I turn on the water. I'd be like, should I get the water in my face? It was crazy. It was crazy. That was my life. It was nuts. And now I wake up like this, and I'm like, all right, guys, let's get ready to go for a walk. It's night and day. So, yep, bread makes me tired. Bread makes you tired. Melissa, are you gluten-free? Bro, can you give me advice on Riz? What is Riz? What is Riz? I'm not on the slang. I'm 51. I'm gonna be 52 in December. So let's find out what Riz is. What is Riz?
According to dictionary.com, what does Riz mean? Riz is a slang term for skill in charming or seducing a potential romantic partner, especially through verbal communication.
Yeah. Well, if you want some, for Riz, here's if you want some Riz. It's not really about seducing a woman. It's about you becoming a man that women want. That's the Riz. That's the trick. See, people try to trick women, but women, they smarten up to you, and then they say fuck off. So don't try to trick them to seduce them. What you want to do is you want to become a man of character, a man of quality, and the women will come to you. They'll come to you, because women, they don't want a fucking loser, right? You become attractive by becoming a better man. That's the Riz. That's the game. Love it. That's great advice. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's the game, bro. And also having a good body and exercising and working out, challenging your mental state, elevating your mind, learning things, learning how to communicate. Also learning how to communicate, because when I was younger, I was more of a narcissistic person, egotistical, very selfish. And what I've learned is that doesn't help at all. So you've got to learn to become a loving person, a kind person. I know kindness is always not spoken too much about, but I'll tell you what, kindness is the key to success. Kindness, because women like people who are nice to them. Women don't want an asshole. Women don't want to be around an asshole. So if you want women, you got to be cool with them. You got to be nice to them. You got to treat them nice. So that'd be my advice. Don't try to fucking fake people out. Try to fake women out. Be authentic. Be your authentic self, because authenticity vibrates the fastest. Authenticity and truthfulness. So when you're truthful and authentic, you're gonna emit that vibrate. You're gonna vibrate that, and then the law of the universe will bring that shit back to you, y'all. Kindness is everything. Be kind to your woman, kid, mom, friends, family. Yeah, everything. Kindness. Be kind to all living creatures. I found a pancake mix that's gluten free, but it's made from oatmeal. I'm confused. Mindy, do not eat it. Do not eat it. Do not eat it, Mindy. Mindy, don't eat it. Let me explain to you about the oatmeal. So real quick, guys, if you're going gluten free, oatmeal is off limits. Oatmeal, brown rice, millet, sorghum for the first 30 days. Now here's why. Oatmeal, even gluten-free oatmeal, even certified gluten-free. You can Google this. You can find studies on this. They literally cut people that test gluten-free oatmeal. You can find the studies. Okay. Here's what you're gonna find. FDA allows 20 parts per million of gluten or less in products to be labeled gluten-free. So there could be a product that's labeled gluten-free, but not free of gluten. So, I don't even know where I put that little container. I always have it here. So there in America, you can have a product with gluten in it, but it's labeled gluten-free. So what you want to do is you want to avoid oats because there's a large percent of oats that are cross contact with wheat. So that makes them not gluten-free. It's it's crazy because in the fields the oats grown with wheat, right? But because they get tested, they meet a level that's okay for the America, for the FDA said, okay, it's okay. It's only a little bit of gluten. But if you have an issue with gluten, you can't have no gluten. Zero gluten. Zero. You can't have no gluten because you're going to get sick. And in America, what I'm seeing now, what I'm seeing now after being 10 years of gluten-free, you know what I'm seeing? Microdoses. There's microdoses in these foods now. There's little contamination points that are in there. It's freaking me out. So, you got to be aware of like the little contamination points, which oats are a big contamination point. I would tell no one to eat it. And you know what? Even check this out. Even if I grew oats in my backyard, if I had oats that were perfectly fine with no wheat, like beautiful, 100% pure oats. If I grew that in my backyard by myself, I milled it, I made it to oatmeal, I made this, and I made this, right? I made oat flour, right? And it's pure, right? And I eat it. Guess what? Oatmeal, oats, they got their own fucking protein. It has its own protein. It's called avenin or avenin, like gluten. And guess what? You guessed it. You may suffer a similar response to a perfectly pure gluten-free oat, just like you would if you had celiac or gluten. So keep that in mind. Even if you got the most purest oats, the perfect oats, you can still get sick because of the avenin. So, and again, guys, because that's on top of the grains. Because if you have an issue with gluten, you may have an issue with all grains. So, fuck, that's crazy. All right, so let's talk about, now we know about all this stuff, about what gluten is, where it's found, talk about oatmeal, the brown rice. Let's talk about how to read labels, because this is the most important part for you guys going out there on this gluten-free journey. So, let's talk about labels. Let's get a label. And before I jump into this, people always ask me, is it expensive to eat gluten-free? Hey, Clearpath, how are you? It's expensive. Now, it can be if you're going to buy all this. If you want to buy all that shit, yeah, it's going to be expensive. But guess what? Here's what I found out over my decade-long experience. It doesn't have to be expensive. You know why? You see these products? They're made with other ingredients. Let me show you. See this? This is made from chickpeas. This is made from chickpeas. Now this is, I don't know, $4.99 or something. I was at the store the other day. I bought a bag of chickpeas for $2.49, and I fed 5 people, 6 people, because I had leftovers. Dude, you can have lunch. You can have chickpeas for 6 days for $2.49, or you can have chickpeas for one meal for $4. Okay, it's your call. So what I'm trying to tell you is like these products, they're made with other ingredients. Like this is made from chickpeas, chickpea flour. You can make your own chickpea flour. You get your dried garbanzo beans, put them in a very super high food processor or a super strong blender, blend that up to a powder. You got chickpea flour. So keep that in mind. Because everybody always asks me, like, it's expensive. Look at this one. This is from Whole Foods. Whole Foods. This brand from Whole Foods is amazing. If you're at Whole Foods and you're coming across this one, organic. Like this one, I'm a fan, big fan. And it's lentils, red lentils. Now you guys know red lentils has a slighter edge over the green lentil for nutritional value. A little bit more protein. I think 1 or 2 grams more protein. Let's see. Imported from Italy. This is from Italy too. Gluten-free pasta. Now guys, you know in Italy it's like gluten is becoming a fucking major issue in Italy. Everybody's like, what if I eat gluten in over Italy and overseas? Guys, the gluten protein doesn't disappear because it's from another country. Okay, the gluten protein doesn't disappear in Europe. It's wheat. It's inherent in wheat. It's inherent. The protein's in there. It's in there. So you're not gonna be able to eat gluten in another country. Keep that in mind, guys. For the people that say they can do that, I don't know how the fuck that's possible. I really don't. I don't even know that's true, because the protein's in the wheat. It's part of It's part of the construction of wheat, so it doesn't disappear. But I think personally, I think it might be the glyphosate in America that might be helping to that. But anyway, so keep that in mind. Okay, so we talked about the lentils. Now let's get back to reading the label. So let's just grab something. All these products are good and clean, so it's gonna be difficult for me to try to pretend to read a label that's clean. I mean, that's not clean, because these are all clean. Okay, so let's read this out. So, say you're at a store, you pull it out. This is how you read the label. You're gonna read the label. You're gonna look at it. Now, something doesn't have to be gluten-free. Say gluten-free to be free of gluten. Like you can have apples, oranges, pears. You can have tea. You know, they don't have to say gluten-free. They're just gluten-free. However, you want to check for contamination. I'll talk about that. So most, in general, it doesn't have to say gluten-free for you to eat it, but that does help. So first thing we're going to be looking for me, is I look for gluten-free. I'm going to be going for a gluten-free item. So I look for that. The next thing I do is I flip it over, because in America, this GF means that I'm 50% probability that I can eat it. Only 50% probability that I can eat it, because in America, the FDA allows gluten to be in the product. So that's what we're going to find. I'm going to show you how to find it. So then we flip it over. Now the first thing I look for are the 4 major ingredients: barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Like your eyebrow. Barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Those are the first 4 I look for. First off the bat, right off the bat, I go, is there any barley, rye, oats, and wheat? Oh, and brown rice. For me, I can't have brown rice or sorghum or millet. So those are the first ones right off the bat. I guess I can do the next level. So the first 4 of that. Then the next level, the next thing I look for are pseudo grains or other issues that I might have, like the brown rice, the sorghum, the millet. Those are the next things. And then right after that, I start looking for the derivatives, because in America, companies will get wheat. They'll get the wheat. They'll literally take wheat. They'll take it back to their company and their factory, and they'll process it. They'll put some heat, mix it up, do a little chemical reaction, ta-da, boom, 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 and then they'll spit something out, and they'll give it a different name. They'll call it glucose syrup. Do you know that that's gluten? Did you know that? No. However, it can be made with soy and corn and other things possibly, but I'm telling you, they make that and they turn it into glucose syrup. They call it dextrose, maltodextrin, natural flavor, caramel color, malt flavoring. They can even say natural flavor, and it can have gluten in it because it's natural from wheat. So then that's the next thing I look for. I look for all these different names. Hydrolyzed protein. hydrolyzed protein. Did you know that that could be made from wheat? Yes, it can be made from soy and corn, but we don't know that. Do you know that? I don't know that. Some companies will tell you. Some companies will say hydrolyzed protein or dextrose, and they'll have a parenthesis, and they'll say made from corn, derived from corn, or corn. And then I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, thank you. Thank you, company, for letting me know you derived the glucose syrup from corn. Because if they don't tell you on the package, guess what? You have two options. You can call the manufacturer, say, hey, is this glucose syrup on your package, is it derived from wheat? Is it derived from a gluten-containing ingredient? Is it barley, rye, or oats or wheat? You can do that. Or number two, you can put it down, and walk away. Put it down and walk away. Because you know what happens if you eat it? You know what happens if you eat it? You got two shots. You got 50-50 shot on this. 50-50. One, you can be fine. You can be like, fuck. Fuck, thank the gluten-free gods for helping me on finding this product that's gluten-free. Or you can get cross-contact sick. So two options really. Call them, let them know and ask them. Email them. If they don't get back to you, put it down. Just don't risk it. Don't risk it. Don't risk it. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Don't risk it. Don't risk it. For the first 30 days at least. For the first 30 days, don't risk it. Like for me, like I'll risk it every once in a while. Like if I'll go to, I literally like, if there's a product that I really want to try and I'm looking at it, I'll look at the packaging, I'll go to their website, I'll do more research, I'll really deep dive, and I'll be like, all right, I feel good in my gut, I'm going to try it. And for the most part, that's always worked out for me. But if it's something that's sketchy, like if I'm at the dollar store and this thing says gluten-free and it looks kind of like sketchy, no way am I buying that. No way. I was at Whole Foods the other day. They had lentils. Now, the lentils that I've always gotten were super clean, beautiful looking lentils. But then I saw like dust particles and like weird looking grainy stuff in it. I'm like, and then I remembered 3 years ago, I had lentils that were really cheap and they were dusty looking. These lentils were dusty looking and they had gluten contamination. So keep that in mind, guys. Lentils and other products, if they look dusty and dirty, put it down. Don't even get it. Get something that looks super clean. And then the next thing oh, we're reading the label. I forgot about that. Okay, so we read the first, barley, rye, oats, and wheat. Then the next level, sorghum, millet, brown rice. Then the next level, does it have dextrose, maltodextrin, any of those weird derivatives? Then the next thing I look for on the label, is this made on shared equipment? You know what? They'll get a gluten-free product and they'll manufacture on the same equipment that processes wheat or gluten-containing ingredients. What? Anyway, so that's the next thing I look for. Maybe they can't find companies that have wheat-free. I don't know. Like, you know what I should do? I should probably just get a bunch of investors and open up a big-ass fucking gluten-free company, a factory in Chicago. In Chicago. Just everything's gluten-free, 100%. That would be amazing. That would be fucking, can you imagine being like purity, like fucking everything gets tested and tested in and out and it doesn't meet like a pure protocol. It's like doesn't come in. That is a very interesting. All right. So then the next thing I look for is it made in the same facility. So I look on the same equipment, then I look for the same facility. Why do I look for that? Because if you're telling me that this product is gluten-free, like my tortillas, you're telling me this is made on a dedicated line, but my tortilla is made in the same facility that processes wheat. You're telling me that's gluten-free? You're telling me that my product, my tortilla that's in the same factory with all the wheat dust, you're telling me that's gluten-free? No, I'm not buying that. I used to do that, and I would get sick, and I paid for it. I used to risk it. No, not even risk it. When I first went gluten-free, I remember I was like, man, I feel so good. I'm going to try gluten now. I'm going to try and eat it, see how I feel. Don't do it. When you're going gluten free, you can never eat it again. You can never eat it again. And the only time you should eat it is if it's by accident. Don't go out and purposely eat it. Do not. I paid for it. I paid for it. I remember the first time I ate it, I was like, man, I got kind of sick because it was early on. So I didn't get super, super, super sick. And then I tried it a couple times later after that. I was like, what the fuck? I got real sick. And then I think I tried a total of 3 times. I cheated, or 3 or 4 times. And like the last time I was like, fuck that. I'm like, I'm not getting sick no more. Dude, it took a long time to heal. I'm not going to do that to myself. So I no longer do that. So guys, if you were going gluten free, I'm going to tell you this. This is the best tip. You got to be so fucking diligent. You got to fucking want it so bad. Because I'll tell you what, if you can go gluten free, you're going to change your fucking life. I promise you. You got to eliminate the grains. You got to eliminate the cross contact. You got to be super diligent. You got to read every fucking ingredient. You got to make sure there's no contamination point. And if you can do that, you're going to be fucking fixed. But you got to want it. You can't, because dude, I know people that are gluten free listen, guys, listen. I know people that shouldn't be eating gluten and do on purpose. Holy fuck. Bro, don't hurt yourself. I know people that have celiac that be like, yeah. I'm like, what? Dude, listen out there. Don't do that to yourself. Don't. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself. Gluten-free, guys. I'm telling you, it changed my life. I used to sleep fucking 15 hours a day. Knee pain, joint pain, throwing up, bad breath every day. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. People offering you gum every fucking day. You don't want to do that. How does brown rice have gluten? Brown rice does not have gluten. Brown rice has bran and has prolamins and lectins that a lot of people say have issues. Again, guys, do your own research. Here's how you test it. Eat brown rice. Are you getting tired? Are you starting to yawn? Are you like, if that's you, out of your diet. If you eat brown rice and you're like, man, I feel amazing. Guess what? You are a person who can process brown rice. It's that easy, guys. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it. You eat it, you feel sick, no more. You eat it, you feel great, more. That simple. I found. Hey Lizzie, how are you? How are you? Good morning from LA. What up, Chef Herrera? How are you? So I hope that answered the question. What up, Bobby? How are you? Never answered. All right, guys. I ate a few bites of bread last night. Today, intestinal pain is real. Clairvoy Pat, you did? Yeah, I used to do that too. And then I just was like, why am I hurting myself? Like, why? Why am I hurting myself? I'd be like, I'm getting the bread and I'm getting sick. I'm like, why? Why, Jose? And then I had to just be like, Jose, don't do that to yourself. And I said, okay. And that was it. You got to love yourself too, guys. Can I tell you one thing? Love you, Jose. You're the best inspiration teacher. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Joy Lee. Thank you. Thank you so much. I ate free brights. What about quinoa? Yeah, you know what? Now, guys, here's the part where we go into pseudo grains. This is the pseudo grain dilemma. Some people may still have issue with pseudo grain. However, quinoa is known as a grain, but I feel like it's technically a fucking seed. Anyway, sorghum, millet, quinoa. Try those 3. See how you react. Me, I can have quinoa. I cannot have sorghum or millet. I love quinoa. I love it. Also, make sure it's gluten-free, though, or not contaminated. Christine, you got it. Yeah, so I've been gluten-free. Guys, if you're new here, my name's Jose. I've been gluten-free for over a decade, going on 14 years. And my mission is to help people go gluten free because it changed my life. I was always tired, always sick, chronically ill. And a guy came to me one time, talked to me about gluten free, told me about his friend went gluten free, lost 5 pounds in a week. And it changed my life. Went home, Googled it. Because I was trying to cure myself. I was literally sick my whole life. And I graduated from DePaul University in 2004 with a degree in computer graphics and animation. But the most important part about graduating there is they showed us how to do research. They taught us how to do research. And then I was like, when I graduated, I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can find a cure for myself. I'm going to see if I can fix myself. Because I had learned about Asian culture in school and Eastern medicine and stuff like that, homeopathic stuff. And I was like, fuck it. And that's what I did. I started diving into it, started doing research, Googling shit, and just research. And I started coming across a lot of things. You know, I literally thought I had like Crohn's disease, IBS, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. I thought it, insomnia. I had, and just like, it was terrible, all the issues I had. So I came across Candida. And Candida was my first hope because Candida is an overgrowth of overbacteria in your stomach, which is from eating too much sugars. So I was like, okay, let me reduce my carbohydrate intake and see how I feel. And when I did that, I was like, oh my God, I'm feeling better. I think this might be it. I might be onto something. But I didn't get fixed because I was still consuming gluten, but I was on the right path. And then I heard about the guy. He came to me. He's like, hey, I was working at Gino's East Pizza. He's like, have you tried the gluten-free pizza? I said, no, what the fuck is that? He's like, my buddy went gluten-free, lost 5 pounds in 1 week. This was the symptoms. He rattled off his buddy's symptoms, and I was like, that sounds kind of like myself. And I went and tried the gluten-free pizza. Then I went home. I Googled it. Came to the website called mindbodygreen.com. They're like, hey, man, if you got this, you got brain fog, skin issues, joint pain, anemia, brain fog, intestinal pain, diarrhea, constipation, weight gain, weight loss. I'm like, yeah. It's fucking me. Yeah, it's my whole skin issues. I'm like, yeah. Bumps on the back of my arm. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking me. And then it's like, hey, bro, at the bottom of the article, it's like, if this is you, stop eating gluten for 30 days and see how you feel. And I'm like, what? All I have to do is stop eating gluten? And I never looked back. I've never looked back. Never. Since that day. Cured myself. And that's why I do this training for you guys. Because I know it can help some people out there. I know there's people out there that are like me. I used to sleep in school. I used to always be sick. Throwing up. I was always sleeping. Always yawning. I felt the difference after 1 week. Big girl, that's what's up, man. You really did. That's how fast you get healed. Because your body starts to heal. Okay, guys, so let me show you some products. I'm going to show you some products. And the products I'm going to show you, keep this in mind. They have ingredients that some people don't want. They're all gluten-free, but I want you to know, because they're gluten-free doesn't mean you should or can have them. Another thing, too, these gluten-free items are made with other grains and other pseudo grains that can still get you sick. So I'm going to show you some things that you can try, but keep in mind, you might not want to have some of these ingredients. Like, let me show you this one right here. Barilla. Now, Barilla has two brands. Barilla has two. They've got what I like to think of as their clean version and then their factory version. This is the clean one. Only chickpea flour, protein, everything. Made on a dedicated line. This one, ingredients, corn flour, rice flour. Now guys, corn and rice are a big issue with people in America. So you might not want that. And then it has mono and diglycerides. Do you want mono and diglycerides? I don't know. So keep that in mind. Another thing too, look at this. See this? I want you to see this. That label right there. That little red, that thing right there. That's known as the, oh, here it is. Here it is. That's known as the, is that Australia? Is that the logo? feel like that's a different logo. Anyway, I was gonna say, where's my other one at? Is that the one? Cause where's my package? I gotta fucking find that package. Sometimes these packages fall out. Oh, is this it? Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. That's the one. Okay, it just looked weird for a second. This is known as the Australia New Zealand Celiac Association stamp. Now, why is that important to know? In America, this is very important, guys. Here, you got to listen to this. The big G in America means that you're allowed to leave gluten in a product or put gluten in there, up to 20 parts per million. And if you have an issue with gluten, you should have 0 parts per million. 0. Now, America, 20 parts, okay, with the G. Now, in Australia and New Zealand, with this company, to get this stamp, you got to meet 3 parts per million or less. You got to meet 3 parts or less. 3 parts per million. America, 20. New Zealand, 3. In America, we have something called Purity Protocol. Purity Protocol is at 5. Now, these are levels, guys. These are levels. These are levels, okay? We got FDA, 20. We got certified. 10 parts per million. We got the oats Purity Protocol, 5 parts per million. And we got the the Australia New Zealand Celiac Association, 3 parts per million. So those are the levels. Now, for me, if you're celiac, you should have none of that. 0. I know people are always like, it's suitable for celiac. No, it's not. If you have celiac disease, 0. You can't have, don't believe the people that say you can have it. Don't believe them. Don't. You're going to get sick. There's gluten in it. They're telling you there's gluten in there. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's incredible. What's up? I saw you riding your bike. Yes, I ride my bike every day. User 54. Thank you, man. Maybe if you organize that stuff, you can find the stuff. Maybe. All right, guys. What are the symptoms for celiac? There's a lot, but I'm gonna tell you the top 10 most known. I want to look at Google. Signs. Okay, ready? These are the top 14 signs. Ready? Bloating. No particular order. Now, guys, this happens after you consume bread or pasta or wheat, something like that. This is what happens. Now, it doesn't happen to everybody because most of you guys can have wheat or bread and you're fine. You literally eat bread and you're like, let's go play some sports. You're fine. But there's people like me, I'll eat bread, I'll be passing out and throwing up. So here are the top 14 known in the celiac world. Again, this doesn't mean you have celiac disease. I'm going to share with you what is known in our community. Number 1, bloating. Number 2, diarrhea, constipation, smelly feces. 3, abdominal pain or intestinal pain. Headaches, migraines, like throb in the head every fucking day. Feeling tired, lethargic, lethargy. You're always tired because you're not getting nutrients. Skin issues like psoriasis, the little bumps in the back of your arms, keratosis pilaris. They're all attributed to gluten. Keep that in mind. If you have an issue with the skin, think about it. Go do your research. Do your research and come back here. I show you how to go gluten-free. Depression. Depression is part of it. I remember when I would have gluten, like I would be very anxious. I could snap. I could go 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds and get angry. And I was always hot. I was always on edge. I was always angry. It was just crazy, just the way I felt. And just knowing how I used to feel back then, I was like, I don't even know how I fucking lived. Because now I feel warm. I don't feel warm. I feel like just my body temperature is just fine. It's like regulated. I'm breathing fine. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel like I used to feel like. I used to be like, I was always warm. My mouth was always warm. My body was warm. I felt like anxious. I was like, this is crazy. So the next one is unexplained weight loss or weight gain. I tend to think that weight gain is more because if you can't process the gluten out of your body, because if you have an issue with gluten, you store it as fat or you poop it out. Those are the only two ways it comes out of your body. Iron deficiency, anemia, because you're not absorbing the nutrients, anxiety, autoimmune disorders. Like, again, autoimmune disorders. If you have an autoimmune disorder, like Hashimoto's, look into it. Joint pain, muscle pain. My knees, my hands throb every day. Leg or arm numbness. The back of my calves would itch so bad. I would itch until they bled. And brain fog. When you're waking up, are you like, huh? What? Wait, what? What happened? Huh? What? Huh? So can you become intolerant anytime in your life? Lizzie, yes, you can. As a matter of fact, I did a podcast. You can go to my LinkedIn profile. Check out the podcast. One of my followers at age 22, she developed Hashimoto's. Her doctor said go gluten-free. It'll help you. She went gluten-free, cured herself. So at 22, she got it at 22. So keep that in mind, guys. You don't have to be born with the gene anymore. You don't have to be born with the celiac gene now. It's like if you go to do you know in Italy, the place of the pasta, every child in Italy, they got to be tested for celiac disease now. And in Italy, you actually get money from the government to eat gluten-free stuff. They give you money. They give you money to eat it. Veronica says, "Yep, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease." Veronica, you are? Well, go gluten-free. Go gluten-free. Good morning, Adam. How are you? Adam, I sent you the shopping list. Hope you, if you have any questions, let me know. And, oh, snap. Oh, my God. Yes, Vicky, Joe. Yeah, guys, so keep that in mind. I mean, guys, listen. Your bad breath, it disappears. You don't have to have bad breath anymore. Like that fucking film on your tongue, that goes away, guys. I'm telling you, man. The joint pain, all goes away. That warm feeling in your mouth, that goes away. I see I'm just waking up. Beautiful. Beautiful, Adam. Glad you're waking up. What do you snack on? Let me show you some products. We're going to show you some products, guys, and that's going to be the end of our workshop. We've learned a lot today. You can watch the replay on our Instagram and Facebook feed. I've been doing this for over a year. You can actually watch fucking over 50 episodes of gluten-free if you'd like. And you will definitely go gluten-free. I've been gluten-free for over a decade, and I try to show you the pitfalls that you may come across in America. Poll left corner. Guys, we have a poll in the corner right there. Hey, Lizzie. Thanks for joining me today, Lizzie. Adam, you can watch replay. You can watch replay. As soon as I come off this live, it gets posted on my Facebook and our Instagram. Guys, hit the little poll icon right there. Let's vote on this poll. Let's see what we got. What up, Tiggle? Thanks for this. So here's what I snack on. This is some of my favorite hemp. Yeah. These are the best bars I've ever come across in my life. This is one of my favorite products ever. And it has dark chocolate. Guys, dark chocolate keeps you young. Google it. Antioxidants up the wazoo. In regards to gluten, are you gluten sensitive? 44%. Wow. Sensitivity. Nice. Well, welcome, guys. You'll feel better if you go gluten-free, too. So here we go. This is my other snack. Enjoy Life. They come in morsels. The mega chunks. I love the mega chunks. This is free of the top 14 allergens. One of my favorite companies in America. One of my favorite companies in America. Enjoy life. Guys, one of my favorite companies. Now, people always tell me, is it expensive to eat gluten-free and vegan? Yeah. Do I need to get these? This is like, when I first went gluten-free, these were like $4 a bag. This was $4 a bag. Because my sister's a baker. So that's how I got turned on. You got to get this in the baking section. This is in the baking section. My sister turned me on to these years ago. She was a baker, gluten-free baker. And I started, she would have leftovers. And I started eating. I was like, man, these are great. And now I literally just go to the baking section to buy these. It's like little chocolate. It's amazing. Now they cost $7 in some stores, other stores $6. And they and they went to 9 ounces. They used to be 10. I know they used to be 10 because I used to eat them. Okay, so also guys, there's gluten-free cookies. Now keep in mind, brown rice. I cannot have brown rice anymore. You may not have brown rice because it might get you sick. All you got to do is if you eat brown rice, if you start getting tired, it's no longer in your diet. Basmati or jasmine. This is another one of my favorite companies. Simple Mills. Simple Mills, simple ingredients, super clean, great facility. I love everything about this company. Another one of my favorite companies. This is another one of my favorite companies. Again, I don't have brown rice for any of these things that I'm showing you. If it has brown rice in it, I probably ate them before, but now I don't have them anymore. Quinoa. And guys, this is your chance to try different products. This is your opportunity to try different brands, different textures. Like I tell you what, I tried this one, the soybean. It's made from soybeans. I get this at Aldi. It has a great texture. It's a chewy texture. And it's different than like a wheat pasta, which is cool because it's like, it's different. And I like it. I like it a lot. Kasari. You can even do tofu. Tofu nuggets from Hundu. These are okay. I mean, I can make better tofu at my house. But also, guys, grain-free. I think a lot of keto stuff is gluten-free too, if I'm not mistaken. So there's grain-free. Not only is it gluten-free, but it's grain-free. Now, this has meat in it. I didn't try it. My dogs did. I got it for them. Grain-free. I love grain-free. Anything grain-free, I love. Because if you have an issue with gluten, you may have an issue with grains. Guys, if you're gluten-free and you go out to the store and you see something that says grains, if you see the word grain on your product, if you see the word grain on your gluten-free product, I want you to really, really stop and think about what's in it. I need you to think about this. Because when I first went gluten-free, I would have like crackers and things like this. Let's see. I don't know where my crackers are at. But I would have crackers. They were made with other grains. And I was like, how come I'm so tired? Like, what happened to me? Why do I feel like I had gluten? Because these other grains can still get you tired. Remember, if you see the word grain, I want you to step back and think about it. Or look at the grains and write down. Like, okay, today I'm going to have sorghum. Today I'm going to have millet. Today I'm having this grain. Because I need you to write it down. Why? Because in an hour, you're going to tell me how you feel. Oh shit, Jose, I'm starting to yawn. I'm starting to pass the fuck out. I don't think I can have this anymore. It's that simple. Black beans is made from black bean edamame. I actually have one that actually made from beans of the black bean, a black bean one. This one is from Whole Foods. Whole Foods cauliflower gluten-free gnocchi. Oh, dude, I love this one so much. I love this one so much. And you guys, all this, I make recipes and I post them on my Instagram. You can watch Instagram. Go to my IG. Agreed, your tofu recipe looks fire. Thanks, Adam. Providence, thanks for the follow. Will the ingredient list directly say grains? Yes, it will say grains on the packaging because in America, grains are a high marketing point. They think grains are very important. But for those with gluten issues, grains are not our best friend. Okay? Grains are not our best friend. And you don't need too many grains, guys. It can happen with vegetables and fruit. Because fruits and vegetables have amino acids that our body creates its own protein from. Did you know that? Yeah. So keep that in mind. Also, one last thing. Keep this in mind. I always tell you to write it down. Here's why. I bought this at Walmart. Do you see how big that says gluten-free? I should have known that wasn't gluten-free. Look at this. It's all puffy now. It's like fermenting in there. So I tried this twice. And you don't want to inhale this, guys. You can't walk into a bakery. If you're going gluten-free, you can't walk into a bakery. Because if you inhale that flour, you have a probability of being sick. Really, for real. So guys, keep that in mind. That's why I was telling you to write it down. Now, the packaging, it didn't say made on the shared equipment. It didn't give me any information on was it contaminated. It didn't say anything. It just says right here. Ingredients. Rice flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, xanthan gum, and salt. So, is it the xanthan gum? Was it contaminated? Is it the rice flour? I don't know, but I just don't eat it anymore. Again, could be the rice flour because I don't have brown rice flour anymore. Brown rice. I'm telling you guys, remember, when you see grains on your package, really think about it. Okay, so let me show you a couple more things. Let's see. Okay, when you're reading this ingredient list right here, see this? It says gluten-free. You guys can all see that, right? You guys can all see gluten-free, right? You guys can all see gluten-free. Now, it says gluten-free. Let's read the ingredients. Number one, it has wheat grass. Wheat grass? And you're telling me it's gluten-free? Next thing, it has barley grass. Barley? And you're telling me it's gluten-free? Next thing, it has oat grass. And you're telling me it's gluten-free? Literally has barley, rye, and oats. The only thing it has wheat. Wheat, barley. The only thing it's missing is rye. Like if it had ryegrass, I'd be like, what the fuck? So keep that in mind. Just because it says gluten-free on the label doesn't mean it's free of gluten, guys. It doesn't. That's the most important thing you got to take away from this session. So guys, that's going to be our live for today. Go try it out. I'm going to leave you a couple tips. Do not consume the following for the first 30 days. Any kind of oat, brown rice, sorghum, or millet. Along with the barley, rye, oats, and wheat. So those, for the first 30 days, don't. After 30 days, try the sorghum, try the millet, try the rice. I still wouldn't recommend the oats, but if you have your heart set on oats, try the Purity Protocol oats. Are you using a filter? Light the colors. Miriam, I'm in the living room with the sunlight. There's sunlight now. I decided to do a different area of training today. It's sunlight, and I have my new phone. What has gluten, doesn't it? Wheat has gluten. Yes, wheat inherently has the gluten protein. There's only 4 major items in America that have gluten. Well, 3. Barley, rye, and wheat. These inherently have the gluten protein. However, in America, oats are thrown in there. They're lumped in there because they're grown with wheat. So they're contaminated. A lot of it. A lot. Not all. A lot. So guys, that's going to be our live for today. Is the grass wheat without the grain made the difference? Letty, that's what they say. They say because it's grass, it doesn't have the full development of the protein. But the protein's in there. It's still in there. It's in there. It's part of the fucking grass. It's part. It's how you. That's how the wheat grows from the protein. So it's in there, but it's only a little bit. Now remember, the FDA lets you say gluten free if there's only a little bit of gluten in there. You can leave a little bit of gluten in there, or have products like the wheatgrass that have been processed, and they say they take out a little bit of the wheat. They say they take out a little bit out of the gluten. They're like, yeah, we processed it. We made it in the company, in the factory. We took a little bit of the gluten out. Wonderful. I'm happy that you were able to minimize gluten. But guess what? I can't have any gluten. Zero. So how the fuck does that help me? All right, guys. That's going to be our live for today. Thank you so much. What up, Penny Lane? Penny Lane, you can watch the replay of this live of our on our Facebook and Instagram. As soon as I hang up, they get posted automatically on my Instagram and Facebook. You can watch it. It's a great session. Happy Friday, guys. That's going to be our live for today. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. Penny, I hope you got the shopping list I sent you. And we're going to be talking today, too. I'll call you. It's hard to go gluten-free. It is, but it's possible. And you can do it. And if you do it successfully, you will reap the biggest fucking reward, and that is to have energy. That is the fucking best reward ever. To not be tired, to not yawn, to not have headaches, to not have joint pain. Bro, it's worth it. It's worth every day. It's a fucking, you have to be diligent. You have to want it, because you will see a difference, and you will never want to go back. Like, I'm hooked. This is my drug. Since 14 years ago, when I first went gluten-free and I woke up and I wasn't tired, that has been what I've chased. I've chased that feeling every day because I know how good it feels. I know how no inflammation, no bloat, no tired. I'm not aching. I'm 50 fucking one. I'm gonna be 52 in December. Like, it's fucking amazing shit. I'm telling you guys, diet has a lot to do with health in America. Just you need energy, yeah. I have all those. I need to pay attention to what you're saying, Jose. Henry G, download my free gluten-free vegan meal plan. Join our Discord community. We have a 30-day gluten-free challenge there. I do gluten-free training every day. Guys, I'm telling you, diet is big in America. We don't realize. I used to be fat. Before I leave, I'm going to show you guys how fat I used to look. Okay? I was 245 pounds. This is the last thing I'm showing you guys because I do have to go. It's almost 1 o'clock. But I want to show you guys this, to show you that it's possible to change. And Lizzie, thank you for coming on to help on the live today. My moderator, Lizzie, and all the moderators too are awesome. Okay, this is me. And this isn't even me at my heaviest, because I never took pictures of me at my fattest. I didn't let nobody. There might be a picture out there. I don't have it. That's how I used to look. That's how I used to look. And then I started exercising. Look at this. That's me. That's me. That's me. This is me. Look at this. Look at that. What? 245. And then I started eating better, cleaning my diet up. Look at that. And then this is me. This is me. Oh, this is me. This is me. I think this is probably one of my best pictures that I've done. So I'm trying to tell you guys, it is pot. Oh, here, I threw a filter on this one. So I want you guys to know that the reason I do this is to let you know it is possible. And this is how I look. This is how I look on this is how I look every day. That's how I look at. This is how I look now. I'm gonna show you live. This is how I look now. You guys can see. Look, guys. That's live at 51. It's possible, guys. So, guys, that's gonna be our session for today. Thank you so much for joining us today. You guys have a beautiful evening. We'll see you tonight. Have a blessed Friday. And you can watch the replay on our Facebook and Instagram. Facebook. We'll see you soon. Adam, take care. Love you guys. See you later. So I'm going to share it right now, guys. You can watch. I'm going to share it. Share how to go gluten-free workshop. Hashtag celiac. Hashtag celiac. All right, it's not doing a hashtag. I'll do my own thing. Hashtag Chicago on. And it shared. So we have now shared it. Guys, that's going to be our live. Have a beautiful day. Peace and love. Can you send me the list, please? DM me if anybody wants anything. I'm going to be posting it on my downloadable link, but DM me your email and I'll send you the shopping list. Have a beautiful day.